Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Angie.
And together we are TwinFinity.
I love when you do that. You raise your eyebrows. We.
Hmm.
You
I guess I do that. We.
do. It's cute.
Oh. Again, we just can't get started.
Well, we have to be honest. We climbed a big mountain yesterday, so we're kind of tired tonight. So for those of you that like our tired, goofy, silly videos, this just might be one of them. Welcome to the craziness.
This is a Q&A video.
Yes, it is, because we haven't done one in a long time. The last one we did was on a mountain of sorts. It was at West Wind Pass.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
It
That's a
was.
month ago.
I know. We were intending to do videos every 2 weeks, and summer hits, and it's like Canadian summers don't last very long, so you take advantage of them. So our weekends are like busy.
Last year we had our story videos, and they meshed all somewhat fairly well with what we were doing. This summer we've kind of exploded off in different directions, and yeah, then summertime happens to us all. Everybody's busy.
Well, and actually, I really wanted to do this video while we were out at the mountain yesterday because it would have been such a beautiful view. It was like a tall mountain that had views like 360 degrees. It was beautiful. But number one, I was exhausted by the time I got to the top.
Oh, there was no video left in you.
There was no video. I couldn't even imagine answering questions in the exhausted state I was in yesterday.
I was worried she was going to walk off the edge of the mountain.
I kind of almost did. And then, too, there was really no spot because it was so open.
It was, very open, and there was lots and lots of people there, too.
Yeah, there was no real spot to just kind of tuck away and do a video like we can sometimes find. So.
And I didn't think that there was, so I didn't even think of bringing the video stuff, even though Angie had packed it all up and set it beside the door. I looked right past it.
If we were going to do it, I was just going to get desperate and hold my phone, and we were going to just do it while I held my phone out, and then we were going to trade, and you were going to hold it, and I wasn't going to tell you that until we got to the top. But
I figured there was an alternative plan, but
there's always an alternative plan.
But someone almost burst into tears.
I did.
on the way up the mountain. It was one of those mountains where you come around a corner and you look up and you see a high spot on the mountain and you say, "Yay!" So you get all the way up there and then you look a little further. Oh, that was just a false summit. I got so much more to go. And as quite often happens, there was a threat of tears.
When Rob said, "We still have to go up there," I'm like, "I'm going to cry right now." It was rough. It was rough. I can walk today. That's a good sign, though. Going downstairs hurts a little. Going up the stairs is okay. I did the dog walk, and that was all fine.
We came back. We came back and went and set a reservation at a restaurant. And it was one of those places where you walk in the front door and then you walk down about 20 stairs to get to where the reception/greeting area is. Yeah, okay.
We both looked at each other.
We're like, they have an elevator. No, we can't do this. So I struggled more walking down, and she struggled more walking up.
Funny.
And yeah, between the two of us, we got down and up the stairs. Oh yeah, I guess both of us did.
Yeah,
or else we'd still be there.
Yeah. Now, we're crying, laughing, and we haven't even started the video, really.
This is supposed to be a question and answer
video. It is. But before we get on to that, we just wanted to...
You just stole my line.
Oh, why?
But before we get on to that, we have an announcement to make.
Oh, is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
That's funny. We're twinning.
Yes, we are.
Okay, you go ahead. I won't steal your thunder.
I just did it.
Oh.
Okay. That's how bad a shape we're in. Why are we doing this? Oh. Yes, we have an important announcement to make. There is a workshop coming up.
Yay!
At the end of September. Now, this is 2019, because these videos tend to hang around the internet a lot. You hopefully are catching this before our announcement.
Yeah, if you're catching it way after... where's the backwards thing again? If you're catching it way after that, don't worry about the workshop.
Yes, there is a video. No, there's a workshop coming up in Niagara Falls. Oh my goodness.
We'll make sure we're rested for the workshop so we're not loopy. Although, sometimes we're entertaining as we're loopy. I'm going to move our little thing down there because it's bugging me. It's right in my neck.
So anyway, Marla Kelly is spearheading this particular workshop. Yay for Marla.
Yep. She's from Twinstrology, in case you don't know. Am I stealing your thunder?
You just keep on going.
Okay.
I'll just slink off camera here and let you just do the rest of it.
So, yes, it's in Niagara Falls, USA. Oh, Rob, look at that. You can't even see the blue anymore. He's totally gone. Bye, Rob. I'm going to do a question answer video all by myself tonight, apparently. He's going to snuggle down there with the dog. Niagara Falls, US, and if you're not familiar with Niagara Falls, it's actually right on the border of Canada and US. There's like a Niagara Falls, you're back! Canada and
My face.
Niagara Falls.
My back's back here.
That's true. We're never going to get this out because we just can't even.
Keep
Niagara Falls, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. We'll just leave it at that.
2019.
Yes, 2019, just to be clear. We'll have a link below if you're interested. Also joining will be Debbie Dubois from True Sacred Union and Marla Kelly from, or no, we already said that. Oh boy, it's going to be a rough night.
It is.
Kalina Malnar from Sacred Heart Ascension. I always forget what her page is called. So yes, it's actually going to be super awesome because we all are going to be bringing our own gifts, skills, knowledge, and we're going to do this a little different. Normally how we do these workshops is just question and answers. I shouldn't say just, because there's a lot.
Oh, there's so much that bounces off of it.
But this time we're actually going to add in a little twist, and we're all going to speak on our own topic that we feel passionate about, that we want to share more about. So it's going to be really fun, really different. So yes, we're hoping to see you all there.
And yes, with the different facilitators, there is a huge, like a giant broad spectrum of knowledge and capabilities and skills. I could not imagine a situation where all of us would be stumped or at a loss for words at the same time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to answer questions, no problem, between all the different skills and knowledge. And
yes,
absolutely. And on the topic of answering questions, we're going to get started because some of you have waited a very long time to have your question answered, and we're finally going to do that for you.
Okay.
Now, I think we should add your name in there too because it is intended.
Oh, I'm to read all of that?
Yeah.
Okay. We will do that. No, sorry, I will do that. Hi, Angie and Rob. I listen to all your content, and I'm so glad that you and Rob do so much for the TF community.
Thanks.
Very grateful. So please keep going. Question for your next set. That would be this set.
That would be.
As someone who has had abuse in my childhood, I am looking to strengthen my relationship with source energy. How do you reconcile that source energy who is all pure, all pervading, all everything, and let this happen to you? I've been given the advice to pray about it, but it seems so strange to ask the same source for help when I feel deep betrayal. Thanks so much for any advice.
Yes. So have compassion for you, and I can imagine, coming from the perspective that you're coming from, that this would be very challenging. Because if we think of God as the one that has chosen everything for us, then yeah, we can look at our life and go, well, how could you have chosen such a horrible path for me? Why would you let something traumatic like this happen to me? And I have to tell you, I'm so excited to answer this question because it is one of my biggest passions. And I'm going to just throw a little tidbit out there. This passion is all about past life regression and quantum healing hypnosis and life between lives regression and all that kind of stuff. And that is what I will be speaking about at the workshop and how it is so important and powerful in helping us on our healing journey and our journey to union. So I won't get into that now because that's for the workshop. But what I will say is how I reconciled this was when I started doing regression and I started understanding that God is not the one that's in control of everything that happens to us. We are. We actually choose it all. And I know that is so hard for some people to hear because when you look at your life from what it is now, you're like, I would never choose that. Why would I choose to go through such a horrible experience? But when you can look at your life from the big expanded you, so if you can like imagine you're the bird flying up here and you can look down on your life, you see everything from a totally different perspective. And that's why I'm so passionate about those kind of quantum healing ways of past life regression and life between lives regression is because you get to see and experience your life that you've had many different ways. We've chosen all of it in each different life. Even if you don't believe in past life regression and you don't believe that we have been here in other lives, just in understanding that when we come here as a soul, we are the ones that set up, okay, I'm going to meet this person, I'm going to have this experience, I'm going to go through this trauma. And the reason we do that on a soul level is because the soul knows that even if it's a trauma to us on a human level, on the grander scale, it's actually going to further us on our journey. It's going to help us advance. It's going to help us heal. It's going to help us grow. So the soul will choose hard things for the blessing that it's going to give you. And when you're in the midst of it, you don't always see those blessings, because I know I didn't. But once you get out of it and you can heal past it, and then you look back, you can go, wow, I learned this, and I learned this, and I learned this, and I got this blessing, and that blessing, and that blessing. And there's just so much benefit that comes from these, what we call possibly traumatic experiences. Now theirs was it childhood abuse? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that one I have learned through past life regression and other types of regression and healing hypnosis, that I actually made an agreement on a soul level with the uncles that abused me that we were going to play those roles. So that's why in our videos I often will say there are no victims and there are no villains. So I wasn't a victim to the abuse, and my uncles weren't the villains. It was simply the role we each agreed to play. So if you can imagine it like a stage play, or even, like a theater type play, and you're going on the stage, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to play this role. But then when you get off the stage, you're just you again. That's what it's like when we're in soul form. When we're in soul form, we're us, we're the higher beings that we really are. But then when we come to earth, we're like, well, I want to play this role now. I want to be the bad guy this time so I can experience what it's like to be that way. Or we may be like, hey, I'm going to be the bad guy this time because I've been the victim before, so now I want to know what it's like to be on the other side of it. So we play all the roles in many different ways, many different times, many different lifetimes, and we get to experience all of it. So if you've experienced abuse in this lifetime, who knows what your soul's reason was for choosing it. But I can tell you, your soul did choose it, and it is because you're an advanced soul and you're able to handle it and work through it and heal from it. I could go on because I'm so passionate about this, but I won't, because we got to answer other questions. But do you have anything to add to that from your perspective?
My perspective is similar. It's going to be quite a bit shorter.
Yeah, I know. See, I get talking about my passion, and I could just
go for a long time.
I can.
It's fascinating to listen to Angie's answers sometimes, because I just soak it all in. For a while there, she wasn't going anywhere near my direction, and then all of a sudden she was. So she's basically covered a lot of what I wanted to say. But soul contracts, that's one of my favorite buzzwords when it comes to the why. Now, we talk about soul contracts between souls and how we play things out. But knowing that we are all a piece of God, to use a term.
Yes.
Sometimes that contract doesn't have to be with other souls. It can be with God itself.
Yeah.
Because God has something that it knows that it has, but it hasn't experienced it exactly the way that it needs to experience these experiences as well. So sometimes we start another role on behalf of the experiences that are also acquired by God. Now, a lot of these experiences so many times have been experienced by God itself, because there's only so many different ways that something like, let's say, abuse can be experienced. But there's the learning that a person does as being the abusee. And then there is the knowledge and healing and hurt and betrayal that most abusers feel too. They get further on with life and they realize what had happened in their past was not something that they want to be, because they have now grown, and then they need to go through a growth process themselves. So sometimes it's not about the abusee, it's about the abuser and their soul direction. Now, of course, everybody still has to live with the consequences of what happened, whether you're on one side of the coin or the other. But soul contracts don't necessarily have to be just between adjacent souls.
Adjacent souls. What does that mean?
Souls that are living together, let's say time after time after time, part of your soul group.
My hair's just a mess. I can't seem to fix it.
There.
Fixed.
Yeah, my hair's all messy too, but it's going to be a little while before it gets cut.
It's pretty rough when your hair is that short to have it be messy.
Yeah, I see all this little tuft. Yeah, it's too thin to let grow long. I end up with it never gets long enough to be a comb over, but it's a start.
I just wanted to add one other thing. Again, I feel so much compassion for where you're at because I can remember being there myself. My family, if you've watched our story videos at all, know my family used to foster handicapped children when I was growing up. And I can remember just looking at these sick kids that a lot of them died before their first birthday and wondering, what kind of God is there that would have some people born in like rich and famous homes and have everything that it could ever want, and yet other people are born in like Ethiopia or born with handicaps or born with illnesses. I'm like, what the hell kind of God would pick and choose favorites like that? That is so cruel. And I actually was very suicidal because of that, because I just thought, I don't even want to live in a world with a God that's that mean. Like, that's just really mean.
All energies are from God. Now, we like the energies that make us feel better because of what we perceive to be love. But if all energies are from God, then all energies are part of love. And love is sometimes an education that we don't necessarily consider to be positive, or what we would want to be on the positive side of love. So it's a tough one, understanding that Source, in trying to learn for itself, has all sorts of different dark angles to its idea of love.
Well, and that's the thing. Once you understand that we are all source energy. I've drawn this picture before, and it's too bad I didn't bring it out with us for this video. But if you can imagine, source is an energy. So God, source, however you want to call it. Sorry. It's like this big energy, and we are all pieces split off from that energy. So it's almost like if you can imagine the ocean, and then all the water droplets are us as souls. So we are all a piece of God, a piece of source, and we have all just broken off so that God can experience itself. This is what I learned when I started studying Conversations with God books written by Neil Donald Walsh, and it changed my life because it helped me reconcile exactly the struggles you're going through. So not that you have to necessarily read those books if they don't resonate. There's many books out there. But just to understand that we are all that same energy, and all we are doing is playing different roles so we can experience ourselves. Because how does God know that God is love unless God can experience itself as what's maybe opposite of love? How can you know that you're warm unless you know what cold is? How can you know what up is if you don't know what down is? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's that whole contrast, right? We need the contrast in order to understand and feel all the different feelings, go through all of the different experiences. So again, there's so much more to this that we could go on, but we'll leave it at that. And if you have more questions from that, feel free to ask and we can clarify.
Next question.
Yeah.
Have you and Rob given your viewpoints on what it means to you as being a divine masculine and feminine? There are aspects that could be pulled from your videos, but just an idea, perhaps to do a separate video on this. Not yet, but it might happen. Are there still roles that play out similarly in the old paradigm? Example, the masculine still has a sense of protectiveness or possibly that desire to provide for the feminine in just a different way. Divine masculine and divine feminine. This gets about as stereotypical as you can get. I find it a little bit almost dangerous because there is going to be so many different angles on this that our angle would only just be our angle.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no wrong angle on this, but defining divine masculine and defining divine feminine. Divine feminine, to me, seems to be along the lines of the spiritual twin, as opposed to the masculine that tends to be the matrix twin. And the thing is, masculine and feminine have nothing to do with male and female,
Right.
but it seems to be more the providing, strong, straightforward, and nurturing side, which tends to be a little bit more masculine, versus the feminine that tends to be the more connected, more growthful. I'm going to use the term 5D. The feminine side. The feminine side seems to be one that's labeled with all the growth, while the masculine side is what stops the growth side from falling off that cliff when they're standing too close to the edge, out there trying to learn what's just beyond the edge of the cliff. I experienced lots of masculine and feminine yesterday when Angie was out standing on the edge. I even pointed down
no fear of heights.
and
Zero.
she also has no fear of what could or might not be loose rock.
Yeah, and I have no fear of death. I'm like, bring it on. I mean, not that I'm suicidal or anything like that, but
you see, I was all prepared yesterday to say, oh, well, she wasn't really all that afraid of death anyway, as she was going splat like 700 feet below us up the bottom edge of the cliff. I was debating how matter-of-factly I could say that if she did slip.
So that was the masculine in you.
That was the masculine me just being, yeah, well, she lined herself up for that. So, okay. I'm more worried about how rocks stuck to the edge of the mountain, while she was more worried about, wow, look how pretty this is, and look how close to the edge we can stand, and everything still seems to be stuck to the mountain. And I'm just going, things are going to look after themselves whether I bark out concern or not. So I didn't.
And see, that's interesting that you pick that as your example. I like it. But that's where I find we are so balanced. Rob's highly feminine in a lot of ways, which I completely love. He's incredibly nurturing. By the way, this is why I pulled out my phone. I'm going to have to share this in our behind the scenes pictures because Cookie is sitting right down by Rob's feet and it's really kind of cute. Here, you know what? Just because I'm all distracted tonight, I'm going to just show you right now. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Okay, I'll move on now.
She's being feminine. I'm just keeping the dog in place so the dog doesn't go bark at anybody that's walking by or anything. Two completely different perspectives on exactly what's going on.
That's hilarious. Okay, but I also pulled out this masculine and feminine list so we can kind of go through some of it just for fun. Just
remember, this isn't supposed to be the whole video.
I know. We won't do them all. But unconditional love. See, that's under the feminine list. But you're you're way more unconditional loving than I think I am.
I am?
I know. Just don't even go there.
Understanding.
Yes, that's you more so.
That's me.
Nurturing, both of us are very nurturing.
We're very nurturing.
Yes, we are. And you've always been highly nurturing.
Yes.
Even as the masculine, if we want to class you as more the masculine and me more the feminine.
I'm a nurturing masculine.
He always has been. Always.
Tenderness.
Yes.
I'm more tender than you are.
Yeah.
You can be more edgy than me.
Oh, way more.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm
especially
more
3/4 of the way up a mountain that's supposed to be all the way done by now.
Yeah. It gets really ugly.
Kindness. You're slightly better at kindness.
I was going to put you high on the kindness list.
Yeah. I'm kind when I remember to be, or when I'm supposed to be. Yeah, I'm a little bit more of a masculine that way.
Intuition. Now, see, I'm highly intuitive, but so are you. You don't think you are, but you totally are.
Apparently I am.
He is. You've all seen it.
Creative.
I'm quite creative. Are you creative?
I build things.
I guess that's creative. You build trains. It's creative, okay?
Feeling.
Yeah, we're feelers.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like she's one antenna, I'm the other. We're feelers. Haha. We're just one big bug.
Yeah. Now let's do some of the masculine stuff.
Confidence.
I don't think there's one more confident or less confident
No,
than the other.
it's
Just in different things.
Just in different things.
Yeah.
I'm a little more confident
That your
in the
foot
middle
is
of
numb right now?
and yeah, I have extreme confidence that both of my feet have gone to sleep.
And inner strength. I don't really know what
I want
that
to go
means.
back to confidence.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You're confident standing like 6 inches from the edge of a 700-foot drop.
Yes.
I need to be a couple feet away before I'm okay. I'm not confident that wind gusts and or loss of balance or anything like that isn't going to kick in. Vertigo.
Okay.
Vertigo? He went that away. Yeah, no. I don't want to be.
That was a good one. Oh, dear Lord. Okay.
Where were we? Inner strength.
Oh, I was going to skip some, but fine. Inner strength. I don't even know. I don't know. What does that mean, really? I think we're both very inner strong.
She's more inner strong intellectually.
Inner strong.
And I'm more inner strong physically.
Yes. That's true.
I can drive myself up a mountain even when my physical self is saying, okay, I had enough 300 feet ago.
Yeah.
And I say, you still got 300 feet to go. Let's go. It's all about go. Focus.
Yeah. Well, right now, neither of us.
There is no focus. Logical.
Logical.
Both of us.
We're both very, very logical people, which is so funny because we're both intuitive people. We're very balanced that way.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I know. It's awesome, though.
I think I'm slightly more logical than intuitive. I'm going to go there.
Okay. I can't.
I'm always logical. I'm not always intuitive.
Okay.
My answer. From a logical point of view. Support.
What does that mean? We're
What's that word?
supportive?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Right.
We're very supportive people.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Stability.
Well, we're stable on a mountain. We don't fall off them.
That's true. We both stay employed.
That's true.
That's stable.
That is stable.
Even though I've tried not to be employed a little bit. Still not working for me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not even talk about
Direction.
Because who
What's
knows?
that?
So, but I think we're a little off topic, but I wanted to do this just for fun. She was asking more in the stereotypical way of like the masculine being more protective and providing for the feminine, that sort of thing.
I think that because of where we went through this list, I think we're actually very balanced. Either one of us can carry either role at any time, and nobody really chooses between the two of us who's going to be where at any particular time. It seems to be quite often that if one person really needs to be nurtured, the other person just happens to be on the side of being able to provide nurturing.
Yes.
We're very well balanced that way. And if we find ourselves that we're either both extremely one way or the other, oftentimes we recognize that, and that causes us to throw a little bit of balance into it, which is in its own way another form of balance.
Yeah. Even if you look at what our household chores are, we're very balanced. You vacuum.
And you don't.
And you do laundry.
Yeah.
Which are, in the traditional sense, feminine things. It's usually the guy that takes out the garbage and mows the lawn.
I do 90% of the vacuuming and 80% of the laundry.
Yeah. And neither of us cooks.
Yeah.
God knows
nobody
how
cooks.
because we don't cook.
Out of a jar, out of a tin, out of a wrapper, out of the microwave, stove.
I eat a lot of salad.
Yeah, salad.
Yeah, I love salad. Thank God I love it.
With stuff torn off and sprinkled on.
Yeah, lots of hummus.
Lots of hummus.
But what like household-wise, even just all of that, we're very balanced. It's not like one does all the masculine chores and one does all the feminine chores.
She once in a while uses the screwdriver and pair of pliers.
Oh, totally.
And especially when I'm in something that I don't want to do.
Yeah, you hate doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Household stuff is so not you. Yeah. So I don't mind. I do it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily do it well, but...
So I think what part of our answer is that I think that we have become and also maybe started out a lot more balanced than what the traditional roles would play.
Yeah.
Neither one of us are excited in the traditional roles. We're more enthused about the final results. And if someone can take take us to the final result, either her or myself, and it's successful for both of us, then that person just goes ahead and does it.
I think that's a great way to say it, because we're result-oriented people.
Yes.
We very much are. So it's like whoever gets us there, we don't care.
Whoever brings the computer out to set it up to, yeah,
Do the video.
do the video. Yeah, I might work more on the setting the stage, and you work more on the electronic bit.
Yeah.
But it gets done.
Yeah.
So, yay for us.
Yay for us.
I think we're a lot more balanced than average.
Even though we almost always wear pink and blue. You'd think we were highly feminine, masculine, but it just, those are our favorite colors, weirdly enough.
Yes.
We're pink and blue people.
Half of my closet is blue, the other half is the rest of the rainbow. Except for pink. I don't have much pink.
You don't own any pink. You have a purple.
I don't have much pink.
I've never seen pink. If you
Pink
have
trim.
something pink, we are so gonna both wear pink one day. I want to see it.
She's got blue.
I have blue. I was gonna wear blue tonight, but I'm just in my dog walking shirt. I walk the dog, and this is what I was wearing.
And this was just the last shirt that was. Oh, here I go.
It was clean.
It was in my reusable clothes bin. You know, the bin that you have. You got the laundry bin for what is done, dirty, goes to the soap. Okay. Then you got the other bit that you've wore for like 2 hours, and it's not ready to go to laundry, but yet you can't hang it back up as being unworn. As opposed to war? Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So
They're learning way too much about us.
So I have a bin. I have a bin for reusable clothes. Wear it the next day for a couple hours.
Just
Then
dug
it's ready
the
to
blue
wash.
shirt out of the bin, and
I just dug out the blue
took out
shirt.
the dog walking shirt. And
Whoever Doug is.
here we are. All right, it's time to carry on.
Next question.
Okay.
We'll probably end up coming back to this masculine and feminine bit many times. It's very important, actually.
It is.
Okay.
Okay, happy reading.
Yeah. I'm in that part of the journey where there is lots of back and forth. He shows up, I get too excited, and he is engaging with me, and then he goes missing in action once again. I'm learning that if I'm in a more neutral mood, he comes back, and as long as I stay in that neutral mood, he sticks around. But it almost feels like I have to make myself numb to these good feelings, and that bliss, and that part of me that my heart center lights up, and the joy that he's here. I have heard from some twin flames who claim to be in union. That's a whole nother story. I'm going to start that all over again. I've heard from some twin flames who claim to be in union that to stay in union, we must always stay in that place where we don't get too excited or too happy, and that we will never have that amazing bliss
I'm making the
again
cringing face already. I'm sorry.
if we are to stay in union. It makes me quite sad to think of that. As twin flames in union, is this true? Do you no longer have that bliss and amazing feeling that we felt during the honeymoon experience? It says here in brackets, I often cannot find words to describe this feeling, but as twin flames, I think you know what it is I'm trying to describe.
Yes.
Can you describe what it feels like to be a union in regarding to this kind of bliss? I also want to thank you both for all the dedication and love you have put into helping the rest of us find some direction. You two are so much loved.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to back up to one sentence that is, from my point of view, not correct. Boy, that was polite. I was reading that sentence for the first time going, what?
And like choking on it.
I have heard from some twin flames who claim to be in union that to stay in union, we must always stay in that place where we don't get too excited or too happy. Stop! Getting into union is an opportunity to grow and express, not hide and cower and live in fear of what might scare the other person. When you get into union, yes, a stable union, it's very much, it can be spoken, it can be unspoken, but it's an acceptance that the other person is going to sometimes be going to places that you yourself can't go. And so, therefore, put on your seatbelts, be ready for airbags to deploy, you're along for the ride. But it's it's just like any other form of a marriage or a union that is not quite so divine. I believe there's a bit of divinity in all unions,
Mm-hmm.
really.
Mm-hmm.
But wow, no, when you get into the really deep uh, spiritual unions, you've got to expect that and accept that that person could end up going on some crazy bleep type of growth experience that is nowhere near what you're on, and yet it's still going to be very valid for them. And especially with twin flames, their growth is your growth. So even if you can't
Look
really
at that. You
feel,
got like a toot of agreement on that one.
the air horn went off in the background. Isn't that nice?
That was funny.
So yeah, no, to numb yourself, that's like a stopping of growth. Being in union for me is like having the antennas wide open all the time.
And pure
Because
freedom to feel what you feel and
right,
express what you want to
well,
express and be the
right,
joy and the love that you are.
right from my point of view, anyway.
Yeah, I know, because you're lovey and expressy. And
Yeah,
I walked in the door. He came home before me because I was out, as I've said many times now in this video. I don't know why I need to advertise. I was out walking the dog.
dog walking.
Yes. And I walked in the door, and there's like 6 stairs to go up from when you go in the door, and Rob's standing up the stairs going like this to me, like, come here, give me a hug.
Not like I couldn't go down the stairs.
And that's
Angie
just,
comes down the stairs and gives me a hug when I come home.
no,
Nope, she's got to come up the
that
stairs.
wasn't my point. My point was just
I had that thought.
you greet me with open arms the
Yes.
minute I walk in the door, and that's normal. You're just a very open, loving. You're not numb. You're not closed down.
No.
You're just you're expressive and loving and supportive and
This whole topic about being numb, I just run over you.
it's okay. I do it to you.
This whole topic is going to be something that I'm going to not even brush on, but I'm going to try to address head on as part of what I talk about at the yes,
At the workshop.
At the workshop. Yeah, I got 2 aspects of what I'm going to talk about. One is what happens when you go overboard or you perceive you've gone overboard with someone who you wish to be with, probably your twin flame in this experience, but they are not ready for all the information that you just absolutely feel you must dump on them. What happens to that dynamic when you're not numb, when you go explode with information and the other person's going, whack job?
No, I'm glad you brought that up because that's where I wanted to go. I have quite a few comments.
Your turn.
But in the beginning, where this person is saying there's a lot of back and forth, in other words, push and pull. He shows up, I get too excited, he is engaging with me, and then he goes MIA once again. So let's just talk about that. Let's just backtrack a bit. I was actually going to today do a video, just one of my little tidbit videos by myself on this, and then I got lost in other household stuff and I didn't do my own little video. But I'll do it here and maybe I'll still do that. Because it's interesting, this is the 3rd time today this same question, concern has come up. So let's just understand the universe is always working in a balance. So the universe, if you can imagine, pendulum here, balance. Balance
Tick,
right in my face.
Tock, tick, tock.
Yes. So if you're out of balance in terms of you're really excited, and hey, it doesn't necessarily mean you're out of balance because you're excited, but I get what you're saying is that because I used to experience it with Rob. The minute I would like get so excited, oh my God, he's talking to me, what I would do is I would put so much of that energy on him and it would overwhelm him. And even though he wasn't consciously aware of what was going on, he would then pull away. And it wasn't until I was centered again, then I could communicate with him and he would communicate back and forth. But the minute I started getting too overexcited and too, oh my God, he's talking to me and we're like communicating and yay, and then he'd pull away again. So what's happening is because my energy was going to one extreme, his energy would go to the other extreme, because the universe is always trying to keep you in balance. So if you're too far this way, they have to go too far this way to maintain that balance. Once you're centered, they will meet you in center. And that's what happens when you're in union. Then you can both share that joy together. There isn't one of you being super exuberant and excited, and then one of you is like, nah. Right? Make sense?
Yes.
You're looking at me like I got two heads. If you don't understand, how are they supposed to understand?
No, I'm off in my own world.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's attached. Sorry. Let's not even explain that. That's too much of a tangent. It just something.
I think I had a piece of my own fur that was sticking through my shirt. I think it just got tugged. It's attached. Thanks.
Sometimes his furs stick through his shirt and they're attached to him, so I'll gently pull them. And other times they're not attached, so then they just come right out. And so I've learned I have to gently, when I see one, it's a weird, just forget it.
Somebody is not going to be doing videos the day after a climb again.
No. But this is why we do videos a day after the climb, because we're too tired to do anything else. So that's what we have time for, is a video.
Our barriers, our guards are all down. You're getting the real answer.
But what I was meaning, though, is we're not out golfing or doing something else because we're actually, like, able to stay home and...
Because we're just too whacked to do anything else.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
So we take our wackiness and put it into our poor video.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so I'm not done with that question. Don't pull it away. Don't pull it away.
I'm just going to throw in an extra little comment here.
Okay.
Question after question that deals with twins and getting too excited, and et cetera. It's starting to become slightly clear to me that if you've got let's say, just for the example, a divine feminine, very connected, understands what's going on with the relationship, and then you've got let's say, a divine masculine, logical, the world needs proof. I'm starting to understand that in order to understand what's going on, that masculine needs to have some description of where the feminine is at and can be, so that the logical side, let's say the masculine side, can recognize the times when the feminine has already warned the masculine about what can happen, the getting too excited, and have a place to sort and file that, as opposed to just saying this person's completely unstable. Oh, it makes a big difference if the person who apparently goes unstable once in a while, gets too excited, already knows that they can do that, and they've already asked for a little bit of forgiveness and understanding. So I'm starting to think that, gee, all the other questions that we get, should I tell my twin that they're actually a twin, like I've kept this information to myself? It's starting to become more and more clear to me that answer is yes. You don't necessarily have to use the word twin, but you can describe your level of spirituality and where it can take you, and at least they can then sort and file it from then as it happens. Your turn.
Okay. So going back to emotions and pendulum swinging and balance, when you're in a place of balance, then you have a better chance of drawing your twin in and connecting with them, because then you're both in that place. But also remember, just because you're in balance at that moment, it doesn't mean that they are. But always check with yourself. So if you're getting too excited and then they pull away, that just could be you're giving out so much energy that it's overwhelming them. So just learn to stay in check with your energy. It's okay to be excited. I mean, my God, we're twin flames. We're divine, joyous beings. We're here to be excited. But your other partner might not be able to be in that place with you. So center your energy before you connect with them, and then you might have a little bit better exchange. Now, to address the other part, though, when you're in union, oh my dear God, no, it's all about the bliss and the joy and the fun and the whatever else might be in there. I mean, we're like this all the time. We're not just like this in a video. I mean, we're worse when we're tired. We've said that
Oh,
before.
when I'm tired, my bad jokes and innuendos and stuff come out more. And
And he's way more snuggly and huggy and he's
see,
so
I talked about
cute.
the potential negative side, the over exuberant side of me that comes out.
Yeah.
And then she talks about, oh, Rob must be tired. He's all snuggly tonight.
Yeah, it's true.
Then she drags me up mountains to keep me tired so that I'm snuggly all the time.
Yeah. Except sometimes when we're tired, when I'm really overtired, I just get like oversensitive and I don't want, like, leave me alone. Like, don't freaking touch me. I'm like oversensitive.
So then we end up tired at the same time, and I get all snuggly, and she
I'm
gets
going
all
the
distant.
way. Like, leave me alone. So yeah,
And
again,
we get to smile
balance,
and talk
right?
about it
We
because
do,
we understand this.
Totally. And I can say, you know what, I am so oversensitive that I can't do snuggly right now.
She gives off a vibe long before she remembers to say anything to me. Sort of like a, and I'm like, back pedal, okay. You need space tonight, right? And she's like,
I like the cat hiss.
Yes.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you're still all snuggly.
Yeah, I am still snuggly.
Aye.
No, it's like,
Totally you.
hi. Hi. Okay, no. How about a half an hour? Hi?
No.
Yes. And then I sneak by, give her a little kiss, and then run away. You still overloaded? She doesn't remember this because when she's overloaded, she's done.
We often threatened if we had a camera on us all the time. Oh my God, you guys would be like entertained all the time because we're psycho. We're hilarious. It's ridiculous. Okay.
Yes, we are.
So anyway, the joy, I'm just going to quickly, because we're already at like 45 minutes.
Quarter?
Quarter. I was going to say quarter to, but that means nothing.
Quarter to an hour done.
Exactly. Why do we do videos over like this?
I don't know.
Okay, the point is, we are here as not just twin flames, but anybody who's a light worker and, you know, really consciously aware of why we're on this planet. We are here to uplift the planet. So we're definitely here to be in love. We are not here to be in union and be all like solemn and whatever other words are in there that I can't think of right now. We're here to be in joy and laughter and fun and bliss. Absolutely. That is like number one. Well, maybe not number one. There's many keys to union, but that's one of the big keys, is bring joy, bring love, right? And what is love but bliss? Love is not solemn numbness. I'm done.
No. Solemn numbness? No.
No.
And what happens if the other person is in a place of solemn numbness? That's when you come by with the odd neck kiss.
Yeah.
Just do something, you know. It's define. I can't remember the last time we were both just really bummed out at the same time. One or the other of us has got some positiveness to slather back on. Just like a piece of bread with peanut butter, you got something to slather around, you know.
Really, that was a weird example. I think it's time for the next question. Bring your love, bring your joy to your union, but bring it in a balanced way. I'm going to just leave it at that.
Okay. Hello, Angie and Rob.
Hi.
Hi. Why are our twins stuck with a partner and not being happy but still want to be stuck there? I don't get it when they're truly aware that real love is waiting for them. My twin is stuck with his partner but is truly aware that I am his twin but does not want to give up on his relationship with not much connection as we have. I don't get it. Why are people in one relationship when there's an opportunity for far more love in another?
Can
you first.
Oh, like,
I decided not to fight with this energy beside
do you
me.
notice all I wrote was soul level, human level? Those are all the notes.
Okay, that was her answer.
There
Okay,
we
soul
go.
level and human level.
Okay, so
How about sense of honor and commitment? Hi, I've already decided once in my life that this is where I want to be.
that's the human level. The conscious human piece has decided I've committed to this relationship. I've got to stick it out, even if I'm not happy in it, even if it sucks. If you ever heard the expression, "I made my bed, I have to lie in it."
For better or for worse.
Exactly.
You're supposed to find your betters when you can, and you're supposed to deal with the worst as it comes along and endure it.
Yes.
We train ourselves to live that kind of a life. And there's some honor in that.
Yes. Yes.
Your turn.
Okay. Gone now. It was there. Oh yes. Also about.
Oh, okay. You should see my poor leg. Oh yes. Also.
Okay, I'm getting tired. I gotta focus. Focus. I talk about centered. I need to. Okay. It's also because they don't feel deserving of it. That's another human level thing. If they have not worked through their own stuff, they think they deserve to be miserable for whatever reason. They just think they should just be unhappy because, well, that's the cards I've been dealt in this life. That's the way it goes. Woe is me. Some people haven't the ability to accept joy and goodness into their life because they don't think they deserve it. I used to be one of those people. I used to push him away because I didn't think I deserved the love. I didn't think I was worthy of it. So that's another human level thing. Any more to say before I go to soul level?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to go back to numbness. Numbness versus pushing away. Some people choose the pushing away because they are more expressive as opposed to being introverted. So they tend to be more capable of expressing where they're at and doing some pushing. Other people just go into a realm of numbness. And they assume that they are miserable and that the other person that they're with is significantly happier than they are. When in fact, the other person in that relationship is just as numbed out and just as unhappy with the same level of having thought that they have a commitment and they're going to stick with it for as long as their sanity can prevail. So there is a huge thought between two people who are usually very aligned in their dissatisfaction with the relationship that each one thinks that the other one is significantly more happy than the other.
Right.
When
So
usually
I gotta stay because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to let them down.
Sure, and
They're
then
happy.
and then I don't want to say more often than not because that would be a falsification of sorts. But to the surprise of many, when one finally gives up and says, "This needs to end," the other one goes, "Okay, I agree." And it's no big letdown from either side.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because they've both been wanting it for a long time, but nobody was willing to say it.
When one's brave enough, the other one's relieved enough to say, "Okay." And then everyone realizes that the letdown was years and years ago, and it's just been a struggle for both.
Yeah.
But one only knows their own feelings, so they assume and they take it on as being all their issue, which is another thing that we train ourselves to do.
You're getting a dog lick now.
I'm getting a dog bath.
Okay, so I want to address the soul level part of it now, too.
I'll let her explain the soul bit.
Okay.
Unless I jump in.
I'm sure you will. So on a soul level, again, sort of going back to our first question where we were talking about as a soul, we choose everything. We also choose our union, right? So we've planned out our union with our person, whoever, if it's our twin flame, divine partner, whatever you want to call it. And we know when it's time and when it's not time. Even if we're not conscious of that, our soul knows if it's not time yet. So he might be holding himself in this relationship, not even understanding why. He just knows it's not time. He doesn't know why it's not time. He's just not feeling that nudge from his soul to say, yep, move forward. We both went through that for many years.
Even if he's got that nudge from you, being the twin partner, that might not be enough.
No, he's got to have it from
He's
inside
got to
him.
have his own understanding.
And when
own
that
confidence.
switch is flipped, he'll go, okay, I'm ready. But you can't be the one to flip that switch. Nobody can. It's got to happen inside of him. And nobody knows what's going to flip it, and nobody knows when it's going to flip. It's just that whole divine timing piece. When he feels on a soul level, when his higher self feels that you guys are ready, then he'll make that step. He will be ready to end that relationship. As miserable it is as he is in it, if he's not ready to, for all the reasons we've listed, he's not going to. Does that mean you failed in some way? Absolutely not. Does that mean he's failed in some way? Absolutely not. It just means you both have learning to do where you are, and you're not ready to be together yet. That's okay.
There's many different styles and ways of communicating love. One person might be ready to slather the other person with love. See, I'm almost back to the peanut butter thing again here. But one person might be ready to slather the other person with love, but that person might not be ready for either that volume or that style of love yet. So when a person says that they've got lots of love waiting, that might not be what the other person needs
Yeah.
at that time of their life.
Yeah. Because they still have more growth to experience. They have more experiences to experience first before they're ready.
Before they're ready.
They're ready, yeah.
So,
ready, not redder.
So there's a transmitter and there's a receiver. And if the receiver is not ready, the transmitter can transmit all they want. There's nobody capable of listening. On the other side, there might be a person that's ready to receive love, but the transmitter isn't ready. So,
That's a great way to explain it.
Love is two-way.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be both transmitted and received by each entity.
That is another piece that I'm going to be talking about at the workshop.
I'm so excited to listen to Angie's bit about the workshop, because neither one of us are going to be rehearsing this in front of the other, I'm sure.
No, absolutely
it's
not.
It's just going to all of a sudden spill out of both of us, and we'll both be like, wow.
I'm not a rehearser. I don't like to rehearse. I just do it.
Rehearser. Me.
Okay, can we try one more question? We're like almost at an hour, and I don't like to keep our people longer than that. But I know some of you, like our popcorn girl, she's like, the longer the better.
But
she's like, just let me get my popcorn and I'm good to go.
Popcorn.
That's our dog making noises, by the way.
I haven't had supper yet.
Yeah,
popcorn would do.
Another reason. Oh, and it's 8:45 our time.
I'm not going to be having a true supper tonight. It looks like it's going to be candy-coated peanuts with M&Ms and sun-dried tomato crackers.
Do you need to advertise your bad diet all the time? Thank God we don't get judgment from people.
And a glass of water.
Oh, yeah. Throw in the water. There's some nutrition for you.
Well, that's the most important nutrient. Not the bad stuff can't even get into your body without the water. Oh, right.
Let's read the other question.
Okay, I am experiencing heart palpitations. Now, this is the question, not me. I am experiencing heart palpitations, lurches, heart expansions, and my heart is generally doing things I'm not used to. A normal person would think they were having heart attacks. I am not. Oh, God, don't do this. I know this happens during ascension, but mine seems to be triggered by connecting to my twin in spirit. The more we connect, the more my heart does weird stuff, LOL. Does this happen regularly during the reunion phase? Thanks.
Do you want me to answer that first, or you answer it first?
You can go first.
Okay. Damn, I was going to let you go first. No, if you have something to say,
No, I'll say shut up for a change.
I don't really have much to say.
Go ahead, say what your little bit is.
Now we're going to argue who gets to speak first. Oh, dear Lord. Last question. We're like, oh, I want to go. Next one. No, you go. No, you go.
It's because it's a hard question.
That's right. That's why I wanted you to go first.
This is a hard one to speak from for me. See, I'm going first. Because I felt emotional palpitations, not heart palpitations. It didn't actually manifest itself into my physical. It didn't really go that far.
Yep.
Sure, it affected all of me, but it was my emotional side that was just all over the place. Like super excitement and almost inability to sleep until I got real exhausted, and then I slept really, really well. But that could all change at any time, back and forth. I don't want to call it that it was unstable. There was just so much of it. I had trouble sorting and filing it, I guess would be a better way to describe it. So, oh, that's how it came through with me. It was more emotional than physical.
Now, on that topic, I just wanted to say, just the other day I replied to somebody, and their request, I think it's a great request to do a separate video all on its own, on not as part of question and answer, but on the masculine's perspective of like coming into union and what it's like to learn about being a twin flame and a divine partner and all of that. And I think that would, just what you said would be part of that, because I didn't even know that. That's really cool to know. And to know more about your emotional side and what you felt and what you were going through.
See, the emotional.
That would be good to do a whole video on.
See, the spiritual side had to wait for its turn to come through because the emotional side had to deal with the logical side.
And see, that's the piece she was looking for. She's like, there's not a lot out there in terms of the masculine and what they experience, because there's not a lot of masculines out there sharing, at least that she's seen and even that we've seen, because I will happily refer other videos when I find them to people. But yeah, like, you know, she was saying there's not all masculines are like high feminine and experience things in a feminine way. Some are like Rob, where they're mountain climbers and runners and really active and logical and thinking, and she wants it described in that kind of a way. And I think you would do a great job.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe some night we'll do like a question and answer. I'll just ask the questions and you answer, and it'll be all your video. I'll just ask. You speak.
That would be very interesting.
I know.
Especially if you ask a question that I don't have an answer to, really.
But that's the way you do these, because you channel when you answer questions. You're a great channel. I think you would do awesome. Yep. So I'm going to answer the question, and then we're going to say goodnight. So Rob can go have supper. It's really nutritious dinner, which we're not going to talk about.
We just did.
Okay. I too have not felt the heart thing like a lot of people describe, and I know a lot of people in the twin flame community describe that physical feeling. I too didn't feel it energetically. Oh, Rob's got reminders. I felt it much more emotionally than like a heart or a throat or any of the chakra pulls. I didn't experience that, but God, did I feel the emotional? Like it just hurt. And it just hurt emotionally that it physically hurt, if that makes sense, but it didn't physically hurt. It's a hard one to explain. But yes, you're not having a heart attack, unless some people are. Never want to say, you know, no, you're not having a heart attack.
Keel over dead.
Yeah. If you're suspicious of that, of course, check it out. But for a lot of people, it is just the emotional connection that you're feeling. Because you're connected energetically, you're going to feel each other energetically.
I can just see it. Someone will keel over from a heart attack and they'll leave a note behind saying, Rob and Angie said I wasn't having a heart attack. See, our fault.
Yeah. It's okay. They get to return to spirit. Yay for them. Okay.
I crossed fingers.
Yeah.
Just had a little bit of an aha moment that just kind of struck me. If you're having heart palpitations, it's not because you're discovering the connection. It's because you're discovering a new style of love. The love would affect the heart. The emotional side has to understand new forms of connection. So the emotional bits that we felt, because we already had the love in our foundation, that's why we felt the emotional. Where if other people are discovering the connection through love, and a new style of love that they've never felt before, that's why that would affect the heart.
That's an interesting perspective.
I'll call that my light bulb moment. And somebody will correct me on that. We just went dark.
Oh, that means it's time for us to go, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to go. So we will answer more questions, hopefully sooner than later. We can't make any promises.
We're getting ready to go on a week's vacation.
Well, if we
Probably later, but we should be actually doing sooner.
Yeah.
We need to, as more information comes out in regards to the Niagara workshop, we need to be passing that along to you, not waiting. So you'll probably hear from us sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Well, and we just like connecting with you guys.
That too.
Yes.
I felt very guilty. I was saying a few days ago that we have actually got 4 videos to make over the next like 12 days.
I know.
We're going to fail.
Well, it's life. It's summer in Canada. You do what you got to do.
Summer's short enough. Play.
That's right. Play is very important.
Yes.
So on that note, we're going to go not play. We're going to go to bed.
Now I'm going to go eat.
Oh, that too.
Candy-coated peanuts.
So before we say goodbye, we just really want to say thank you always. We don't say this a whole lot, but thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to our channel, to our page on Facebook, for your lovely comments. We so appreciate everything. And we're happy, as always, if you share. Somebody just asked the other day, like, you guys are amazing. I wish we could get the word out to more people. Thank you. First of all, that was very kind of you. Second of all, just share. You're welcome to share your videos with anybody, everybody. It's all good.
Absolutely.
Yes. So on that note, we're going to say good night, even if it's not good night for you. It is for us. We love you guys, and we'll try to be back sooner than later with another video. Bye for now.
Bye.